Hi, this is Greg with Lionquestfitness. Now, not the greatest shooting from 12 and 8 yards, but it was fun shooting and an opportunity to practice something folks don't practice anymore, and that's called marksmanship, learning to hit what you are shooting at. Now, I don't normally do what's called Mexican carry, but I don't have a holster for this gun as of yet, and it is unloaded. But this is a classic, something I call a perennial. And these are guns that never seem to go out of style. Now, this is a Ruger single 6, meaning single action revolver, based on the old Colt revolvers from the Old West. Now, in the late 40s, early 50s, you know, the cowboys were kings in the movie theaters and on the budding television networks. And everybody wanted a single action revolver. So Ruger got in the act of, Colt had stopped making single action revolvers. There were a few other companies who still did, but Ruger entered the market with the single 6, which was a 22 caliber revolver, 6-shooter. And this one is a more modern revolver. It has a transfer bar, not quite the same as the old Colt Peacemakers. And this one is actually drop safe, that you can load 6 in the chamber and not have to worry about dropping the gun and discharging the gun. Well, these were very, very popular. The original was more like the Colt, and then I think in maybe the early 60s is when they adapted the transfer bar and made a few other changes. And this is what I would consider, like the Ruger Blackhawk, a modern day single action revolver. Now for me, this is a warm-up gun I use when I go to the range. You know, it helps me focus in on my breathing, my stance, you know, my hand-eye coordination. And it also, I mean, it helps me when I train with double action revolvers or polymer pistols or 1911s. It all ties together. But you know, this is also what I call a holiday gun. Say 4th of July, Thanksgiving. And though firearms are about self-protection, hunting, it should also be, a firearm should be about having fun, about sport. And with us, it's family get-together. It's also a way where we can teach our grandchildren about firearm safety. I love that sound. Now, why the tie-in to the old television show, the old Western, the Cimarron Strip, starring Stuart Whitman? Now, when I was a little boy, I used to watch that in the late 60s, early 70s, you know, and at that time, the Western heroes were starting to fade out some, especially on television. But that was a very good show. Stuart Whitman played this tough marshal, you know, and Stuart was a handsome, good-looking guy, very rugged, very athletic. You know, the kind of man that we as young men growing up back then, we wanted to grow up and be like that. And he was the marshal in the Cimarron Strip territory of Oklahoma. So Stuart Whitman carried a Colt Peacemaker, I believe a 44, and it was nickel plated, about a 7-inch barrel. The ivory grips, stag-handled grips, I mean, a beautiful gun. And you know, I name my firearms, not all of them, but most of them, and it gives them character and personality. Some people think it's silly, but that's okay. But these beautiful mechanical devices in a lot of ways become a personal friend and attachment to me. But I got to thinking about Marshall Crown's Peacemaker and how beautiful it was. And, you know, I said, all right, we're going to call this gun Marshall Crown after the Stuart Whitman character. Now this is Greg with Lionquestfitness reminding you, you know something, firearms should be